Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Trash. I'm Yvette Roeder, and I'm here at Phoenix Fire Station 50 alongside my co-host, Stephanie Romero.
Hi Yvette.
Hi. You know, we also have our first guest, a 32-year veteran of the fire department, Captain Justin Smith.
Welcome, Captain. Thank you so much for joining us on our show today.
Thanks for having me.
So as you may know, all of our city departments are really involved and encouraged to be sustainable. But what our viewers may not know is that our brave firefighters, who are not only busy saving lives, they're also playing an active effort in saving our planet. So tell us about those efforts.
Well, about 5 years ago, Facilities Management developed a plan to have a comprehensive recycling program for all of our facilities, all our fire stations, and all our offices and support complexes as well. And of course, the reason why we did that is because we want to be good neighbors, and we think it's the right thing to do. We understand, and also that there's a cost savings, and that's what we were looking for. You know, we were looking for that cash in the trash.
Great. Now, what specific sustainable practices do you do here at Fire Station 50?
Well, this station here, it's a beautiful station, Fire
Yes,
Station
it
50,
is
as you can see, and it's a LEED certified station. Okay, so it's a gold rating, and LEED stands for Leadership in Environmental and Energy Development. And so what that is it has a focus on renewable materials when you build, increased R values for insulation, and so we're very proud of this station, and all our stations now that we build have a LEED rating. Specifically at this station, I think you'll find that the firefighters are really they're really bullish about recycling, and they recycle, they compost as well, which is a really neat thing, and we'd like to encourage more of that. So they really recycle, and most of the refuse that we generate at any of our facilities, whether it's a firehouse or an office complex or one of our warehouses, it's mostly recyclable. So that's really the thing that we focused on is focusing on getting that recycled material out of the refuse containers and back to solid waste.
Mm-hmm. That's what we love to hear. And we also heard you have chickens here as well. Tell us about that.
What we do, frequently fire stations will get together and have some type of a camaraderie type team building little project, pet project. This station somehow landed on chickens, and so they compost their food scraps and use the food scraps to feed the chicken, and they also harvest the eggs. And so it's really kind of a neat thing that they do, and it's nice for the neighborhood. The neighbors like to come and check out. It's a really neat little area that they've developed.
Great. Now, on a personal note, Captain, what do you do at home to be sustainable?
Well, we recycle. Yeah, we absolutely recycle. You know, now with Phoenix, you know, you don't have to separate the recycled material, and I think that helped out a lot. So, but you know, we've recycled for years. We understand the value of it, and then most folks will testify to this. When you first start recycling, your trash refuse goes way down.
Right.
That's always been the aha moment for most people, right? So that's what we do in our family.
Well, thanks for talking trash with us, Captain.
And you're
It's
welcome.
so great to see city employees being really active and trying to do their part to make Phoenix more sustainable. Now stay tuned, because next up we're going to ask Terry about where our waste and green organics go.
We're here at the North Gateway Transfer Station in North Phoenix, and behind me you see a truck coming through what's called our unmanned scale house. After it picks up your garbage and recycling at your house, it comes here and it gets weighed, and that's how we know how much of materials that are going to go through our transfer station that we have to take to either the MRF, where it's sorted and recycled, or taken to the landfill and be disposed of. There is a radio frequency ID chip inside each truck that weighs the truck. We know how much it weighs empty. And as it goes through, the gate will open up, and then we'll travel, and we'll go now and see what happens inside the transfer station. When the garbage truck has gone through the scale house, it comes to the garbage side here, where it will be tipped on this tipping floor into the various piles behind me. Then the loader will push it into a hole that's in the floor of this transfer station. And beneath that floor where there are transfer trucks that will take it out to the landfill. Now the loader here will try to maximize the weight on those axles of that truck, where he'll mix the bag garbage with some of the green waste and the other things that come out of your alley as well that comes here, and mix the two together. Then in the back of that truck, they'll use what's called an excavator. And that's the one with the long bucket, with the long arm back there that's kind of smooths materials in the back of the semi-truck. You may have noticed in the facility there's a lot of what looks like mist coming from the ceiling and water on the floors. We're constantly trying to keep all of the dust down in the facility to abide by the clean air rules that we all have to abide by here in the desert. Once the garbage is put into the tunnel, into the semi that's located below the floor of the transfer station, it comes out here to be covered before it takes the road trip out to the SR-85 landfill out in Buckeye, Arizona, which is 60 miles from here. That way it keeps the roads clean and it keeps the materials inside the truck. Free tours of Phoenix's transfer stations are available during business hours Monday through Friday. They last about an hour and are a great learning experience for everyone. To set up a tour or schedule other Reimagine Phoenix events, contact Public Works at 602-262-7251.
Well, thanks for that wonderful tour, Terry. Up next, we're going to the other transfer station, our 27th Avenue facility, where we can check out what really goes on at a waste characterization study.
And after that, we'll introduce you to our Shining Star employee. Keep watching.
One of the goals of the city is to hit a diversion rate of 40% by the year 2020. So one of the things we're looking at, is how are we going to do that? And what we need to know is what recycling or what commodities are in the garbage that can be recovered.
My name is Jeff DiGregorio with Cascadia Consulting Group, and we are sustainability consultants working with the City of Phoenix on this waste characterization study. The reason we do waste characterization studies is primarily to save money by keeping commodities, materials out of the landfill. That's really the entire purpose of this, and it's a very complex study. It's scientific. There are a lot of nuances behind how it's conducted, but eventually what will come out of this study is a really, really good sense, lots of amazing data on what's being thrown away in Phoenix, what's being recycled in Phoenix, not just quantities, but types of materials that are going into the trash recycling, so that we'll have a really good sense of what the community needs to do, what the city needs to do to try to divert items from going to the landfill that shouldn't be there in the first place and save the money as a result. We work with the city to look at the map of the entire route system for all the garbage trucks, all the recycling trucks, to know where they're coming from and the timing of those routes. In advance of the study, we'll actually pre-select, through a random selection process, pre-select routes for both garbage and recycling. Again, we don't want this to be a bias study, we want this to be randomly so that it reflects what's typically going on across the city. On the days of the actual waste sort here, the characterization study, a truck will roll into the facility. If it has a tag like this on its front windshield, we will divert it, direct it into this bay here where it will dump that entire load and then go on its way. From that load, we'll then randomly select what we call a bite. We'll take a bite out of that load. It'll be a 200-pound sample that we'll extract from that load from that route. So that 200-pound sample will then be extracted. It'll be delivered, dumped over the side here. The rest of it will be shoved over back into the mainstream recycling or waste piles. It'll go where it normally goes. And then these teams of individuals will hand sort through each of those samples, very painstakingly going through every item down to the smallest pieces of material coming out of that sample. And those samples will be sorted into approximately 60 different types of materials, 60. And that's both for trash and recycling. So you wouldn't think, wow, are there really 60 types of materials that I throw out or that I recycle? Well, yes, there are. There are all sorts of different types of plastics. There are different types of metals. There are different types of, in the waste stream, you have wood, you have furniture, you have fabrics and shoes, you have wire hangers and all sorts of things, food waste, all sorts of types of food waste, landscape debris. There are so many categories. So we sort it into those 60 categories. Each of those subsets of categories is then weighed individually, photographed, and all of that information will then go into the database. So we'll have a really good picture of how much of those 60 types of materials are coming from the city of Phoenix. So each day, both for garbage and recycling, we're processing between 12 and 15 samples per day. We're doing this 10 days during the summer and 10 days during the winter. So it adds up to be quite a lot of trash. The the weight data, the tonnage is just going to be impressive. We'll know, exactly to the ton how many plastic bottles are being thrown out, how many beer bottles, how many wire hangers. It'll be really actually fascinating data. And the more and better data you have, the better, more informed decisions you can make.
The results of the study can be used in a number of ways. Our primary focus with the City of Phoenix is economic development. In order to recruit businesses and build businesses here in Phoenix that make use of the materials to create value-added products, co-products, and energy, we need to know what's in the trash. We need to know what's in the recycling in order to be able to tell them what kind of materials and what kind of volume and what kind of quality is available for them to create those products.
So we're primarily looking at the garbage that's coming in from the residents, and then we're also looking at recycling for the residents that participate in our recycling program, what's actually in the recycling that's coming in. So when we're looking at the garbage, one of the reasons we're looking at the garbage is we're trying to ascertain how much good recycling is in the garbage that could be put to beneficial use that should be going into the blue containers, so that the city can recover that as part of its recycling program, and then capture that material, get some revenue from that material, which offsets the cost of the whole garbage program and keeps everybody's fees low. Right now, when we bring the recycling to this facility and it goes through our systems, it gets sorted out and processed, it costs us about $30 a ton. So for every ton of garbage that's in the recycling, that's $30 per ton that we spent that we didn't have to spend if it wasn't there. So that's one of the things we're trying to achieve. The other thing we're trying to do with the recycling is look at what's in the recycling in terms of not so much what's good recyclables that's there, but what's in the recycling that shouldn't be in the recycling. What's the contamination level that's in the recycling? And what is that contamination, so that we can give that information back to the public and let them know that, hey, this is stuff that's showing up in the recycling that shouldn't be there. And then also so that we can quantify how much money is that contamination costing the City of Phoenix and its residents.
On the recycle team, we are using Arizona State University School of Sustainability. So they're learning firsthand what a waste characterization is, and getting a chance that many students don't have to actually see firsthand what's going on in, what's in the garbage. It's actually a really fascinating process for them. So they're out here bright and early at 6 a.m. every day, going through garbage for 10, even 12 hours a day. It's hard work, especially in the summer when it's hot, but they're doing amazingly well and they're learning a great deal in the process.
The City of Phoenix has been a wonderful collaborator. ASU and the City of Phoenix have a great partnership going, and we believe we're going to have a significant impact not only here in Phoenix on resource effectiveness, but around the world through the collaboration that we've created.
Meet our shining star employee. Isabel Gutierrez has been a Reimagine Phoenix information specialist for the last 7 years with the Public Works Department, after a long career with the Roosevelt School District. Isabel was ready for a new challenge and accepted this job in 2007 and never looked back. With great energy and enthusiasm, Isabel has been spreading the word of sustainability and solid waste diversion to communities in West and South Phoenix. Using her bilingual skills and in-depth knowledge of the subject, Isabel has become an expert in these communities. She is the spokesperson and trainer for the department's certified clean green classes for landscapers using the city's composting program. You can find Isabel conducting tours of the city's transfer stations, making Reimagine Phoenix presentations to kids of all ages, and participating in weekend and evening special events. She also conducts independent live interviews for television and radio in both English and Spanish. Thanks for all that you do, Isabel.
Well, that's it for another edition of Talking Trash. If you want to learn more about the Phoenix Public Works Department, please visit us at phoenix.gov/publicworks. I'm Yvette Roeder.
And I'm Stephanie Romero, reminding you to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Thanks for joining us on Talking Trash. Bye.
Bye.